the Leicester Riders.
It's our title, and we're going to keep it that way.
For 3, what a shot.
Lions are on a hunt for silverware, and it all starts here.
Big shot, knocks it down.
New team, new challenge.
Fletcher, top of the key, knocks it down.
This is incredible.
What a game.
Yep, the BBL is back, and we tip off in the Steel City with the Sheffield Sharks hosting the glamour team from the capital and many people's pre-season favourites, the London Lions. It is great to be back for a brand new season and two teams that will consider themselves legitimate title contenders. So looking forward to seeing them in action. Looking forward to seeing these two in action as well. Mike Tuck, Kieran Achara, two BBL legends. Delighted to have them with us. And Mike, terrific to have you with us full time this season, because right about now you'll be going through your paces with your former Sharks teammates behind you.
That's right. I made the jump. I'm on the other side, but really happy to be here.
It's great to have you with us. There's a lot of change going into this season, Kieran. We're going to get into a fair bit of it in our game build-up. Let's start with the change to the BBL structure, because it's going to mean the start of the season is going to look very different.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously now we don't have the BBL Cup to kind of get prepped for the league, so going straight into the season, it's going to show what clubs actually found a way to gel and get some proper pre-season games in to be ready for this season.
No more salary cap as well. The salary cap has been abolished. What's the rationale behind that, Mike?
Well, I think, the club behind us had a lot to do with that, and their investors who also invested in the league. But this opens up the door for clubs in the league to play up in high-level competitions throughout Europe, like the Euro Cup that the London Lions are going to be playing in this year, that require a minimum salary cap. So it's exciting. It's going to create a lot of drama throughout the league. You know, it's going to create some David and Goliath situations. It's fun to watch. That's
an interesting point, isn't it? Because the Lions have completely cashed in on it, and fairly so if they're battling, as Mike says, in Europe. But does it make it a mismatch with the Lions and the rest of the league?
Yeah, that's what you should expect. But we expected that last season. Actually, the Lions within the cap, they did a really, really good job of recruiting. But Leicester found a way. They had a strong core. They gelled together as a team. The likes of Sheffield and other clubs, they have to find a way to gel and play like that team, because obviously stars are going to be the big names, but actually you need the big team that's going to win the championship.
So change to structure, change to the salary cap, change to personnel as well, inevitably, all across the BBL. The biggest news of the off-season was perhaps the return of the legendary Vince McCauley, formerly of the Lions, taking over the reins in Manchester and bringing with him two of the biggest names in the game, Dirk Williams and Ramon Fletcher. Does that make them title contenders, do you think, Mike?
It's like a BBL soap opera in that. I love to see it. It's great to see Vince back in the league. He's such a character. And right away, bringing in some really heavy hitters, some big names. You know, with that type of talent and experience, you have to put them in the talking points.
Because they had a good season last year as well, Manchester, but it's almost whole-scale change. That's a difficult thing to navigate.
And that, I'm sure as a Manchester Giants fan, they were so excited last year. They started to build, get some momentum. They were a team to reckon with. But now they went in with a completely different direction, different coach, different personnel. But at the same time, they've brought in top talent. It's great to see us retaining player in this BBL.
So Manchester re-upping, they'll feel they're in contention. So will the champs Leicester, as we heard at the very top, but they were dealt a blow. How big a loss, Kieran, is the exit of the current league MVP Gino Crandall going to be for them?
You know me, I'm always trying to be positive. It is a big blow for Leicester Riders. They have a strong core, like we said. They pride themselves on being a team, but he was the engine to that team. So it'll be a really, really tough ask for the new guard that's coming in to take his spot.
Mike, you're big on them though, aren't you, Leicester, this season? If we look at our experts' predictions, we've asked all of the guys to pick their champions, who they think is going to win the playoffs, MVP, a team to watch, and a surprise team. You've gone for the Riders to take it all.
Yeah, I mean, the track record speaks for itself. They've got an incredible coach in Rob Paternostro. And last season I picked the London Lions and got burned, so I figured I'll go with Leicester. Consistency is key, and throughout the season they always find a way to win. They're always that team that have the lowest losses in the league or in around there. So going historically, I went with Leicester this season.
Do you think it's going to be a challenge for Coach Paternostro, with Leicester going out in the Champions League in Europe earlier in this week, a challenge for Coach Paternostro to pick them up after that?
Well, I'm guessing a lot of the players returned for the promise of playing in Europe. They were able to keep the majority of their team together with that that lure of playing in Europe. Now they're out. Now they have to get back focused, get back to what they were last year, and they have to remember the grind it takes. So if there's one coach who's going to have the players ready, it's Rob Paternoster. But it's definitely going to be a challenge.
Now, as I said, each of our experts has picked their winners this season. That includes our dynamic duo, our commentary team of Dan Routledge and Ant Rowe. I'm delighted to say they are back with us once again this season as well. Evening, fellas. Great to see you both. Talk us through your picks for the season, because Ant, you've gone with Leicester as well, but Dan, you've gone for a clean sweep for London by the look of it.
Yeah, pretty much now. I mean, I look out there at the London team in front of me. I think that's probably on paper the best lineup I've ever seen in the British Basketball League since 1987 in the form. So that's why I've gone London all the way down the line. I'm really excited to see Sam Dekker. I picked Luke Nelson as my one to watch, partly because as a GB basketball fan, we've seen him do so many great things at the international level. It's exciting now to be able to see him every week, and partly because his dad was such a great player in this league, Steve, and I just like to see another second generation guy just to make me feel a bit older. But you've gone with the Riders again, Ant.
I have indeed. The same reasons as my colleague Mike Tutt. I think Rob Paternoster is the difference. He's a future Hall of Famer in this league. Now, London have got a very heavy schedule. Remember, they'll be distracted. Their energies will be tested with a heavy schedule in Europe as well. But it's like consistency is key, and I think London will perhaps not have that there.
And sorry, I feel I've really improved over the summer. Look like the team that might make the jump. I thought about Plymouth, but Plymouth was so good in the second half of the last season. I'm not sure it would be a surprise to see them winning a lot of games this year. But that's our thoughts. We'll see how it plays out over the next few months now.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks very much indeed. Let's key in on Sheffield to begin with, Mike, and obviously we're going to go to you there. Now, we touched on this, a lot of change for many teams, but a lot of cohesion and consistency for Sheffield. Given what Kieran said about the difference to the start of this season, how much of an edge is that consistency and familiarity going to be, do you think?
It's huge. If you look around the league, you know, the teams that have won historically have always maintained a good core group of players, and I think Sheffield has done a really good job of that over the years as well. Now, this season, we look at it, they're returning 6 players from last season and adding 4 new pieces. And, you know, obviously, me working within the front office of the Sharks, I get to see them on a daily basis. I traveled with them to a preseason tournament in Portugal. The cohesion, the camaraderie, the gelling that they've already done, they look more like a team that's heading towards Christmas in November, December than a team that's at the beginning of the season right now.
What's the mood in the camp then? Pretty confident going into the season.
Yeah, great mood in camp. You know, everybody is very unselfish. It's a great group of guys on and off the court. There's no egos. I think this group is just a group that just wants to win and play for each other.
Rodney Glasgow is now the skipper, taking over. What are you, size 16s? Your considerable trainers to take over there. That's a big role to fill. What will Coach Atiba Lyons be looking for from him in that role? I mean, you've played it for many years here.
Yeah, big shoes to fill. I think Rodney has already done a tremendous job at the captain role already. The guys really look up to him. He's an older guy. He's a wise guy. You know, he's that steward on the team. He's helping keeping everybody in check. We've had many conversations off the court. You know, he's been picking my brain about a few things. Atiba will just be looking for him to be an extension of Atiba to make sure that the guys are staying in line and that we're all playing Sharks basketball.
Seeing Atiba Lyons on screen now, what's it like playing for him? Talk us through what kind of coach he is.
He's a player's coach first and foremost.
Be honest.
He used to. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, he used to be a player, so he knows what it's like to be a player. But he also he expects a lot from you. He demands a lot from you. Your practices can be tough, but it's all for the greater good. You know, whatever he does, you know, there's a reason behind it. And you know, he's a great guy at getting teams going at the right moments. So you know, there will be blips here and there, but usually towards the end of the season, you know, we get it going.
He's going to need to get them going tonight, of course, because as we've already established here in this London team, absolutely stacked with talent. Let's start with the new Team GB contingent. How important is that to the Lions game plan, having that British core?
You know me, I don't even think about the Lions here, I'm thinking about myself. You know what I mean? It's so great to have them back. You know, you've got Soko, you've got Nelson back, DVO making a return actually to Sheffield tonight. You know, they've got such a strong core, and Brits, young players to idolise, to be out there, give high fives in the school, that's the future.
You got a strong British contingent, but that's been coupled with talent that's got a lot of NBA creds, a lot of experience across Europe as well. How important is that, given they're going to be battling on a lot of fronts and the European ambition that this club has?
They talked about that depth, they talked about that experience. You want to aim to the highest levels. You've got players here who have played at the highest level. They're going to branch that knowledge down to the younger ones, and hopefully they can still build a proper programme for Europe.
Sam Decker, an NBA first rounder, 4 seasons in the NBA. You picked him as your MVP, haven't you? Tell us more about it.
You know what? I was a fanboy of this guy when he was in college. I just loved his game. You know, him and Kaminsky at Wisconsin. He can score multiple ways, and I think in this league, being able to score 3 ways, I think that's going to be a big, big piece for this team.
Of course, the challenge I've got to ask, Mike, with a team like this with so much talent is how Coach Schmidt keeps them all happy. There are a lot of mouths to feed here, and that's a challenge for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, depth can work for you, but it also can work against you. You know, there's going to be, you know, a lot of talent, a lot of egos on this team, a lot of mouths to feed, like you said. So I think Coach Schmidt, who in my eyes is a really good coach, will get them going, but how much time is that going to take? You know, this group has been together for a short period of time here, so how long will it take him to get that cohesion going?
Kieran, does that give them the Sharks an edge tonight because they're so familiar, because there's so much cohesion? A lot of these Lions players haven't played with each other for very long.
I think that's what makes the game more exciting, but I'm looking at Lions' depth. You know, they have so many players who can just get going. And I think from having a big, deep squad, you want to prove your point. You want to be on the court. So, you know, it's keeping them motivated, keeping them strong. But I think that having a team like Sheffield with that core, that's the only advantage that Sheffield have over the Lions.
Now, I'm delighted to say that Drew Lasker back and part of our team once again this season too, and he is hitting the ground running. We keep him busy already. A little bit earlier on, he caught up with both Coach Schmidt and Coach Lyons.
Thanks, Matt. It's great to be back in the saddle with the fellas. Atiba, you're back for your 15th season, but you're first without Mike Tuck. What void does he leave?
Well, that's yet to be seen, I guess. You know, Mike was a great captain for us, but Rodney so far has picked up the mantle nicely. He's doing a great job of incorporating the team and the new and old guys, returning guys. And going forward, you know, there'll be different challenges he faces, and we just got to see how he responds. But the way he's handled himself and the way he's conducted himself, it's very promising.
And are you happy with this team that you've built, and how successful can this season be?
Yeah, I'm extremely happy. You know, I think we've got a lot of strong pieces in this team. We have, more importantly, we got guys that are definitely bought in and show up every day and work hard. As far as we can go, I mean, I put my money on any team that plays physical, hard basketball, and that's what these guys do.
And you're facing what many consider as the league favorites in the opener today. Your thoughts on the Lions?
Very talented team, goes without saying. You know, they've put the investment in to be one of the best clubs in Europe or compete with that. You know, I think that as long as we do what we do as a team and don't try to play outside of our roles and outside of the concepts we've already practiced and done in preseason, we have a strong chance against anyone.
And finally, Coach, what's the keys to the game?
The keys for us tonight, you know, with all that talent, you got to make sure we're going to limit second chance points. You know, we can't have them getting 2-3 shots at the rim to keep them down in a point total that we want to aim for. Keep them out of transition, no easy points, and just do a good job on team defense.
Coach Ryan, you've assembled a team that's expected to win. How are you measuring success this season?
I think for us, obviously, it's going to be a long season. You know, we got a new group with a lot of new faces that are all coming in from different situations. So for us right now, early in the season, we're trying to get these guys to gel, play together. You know, and again, not to sound too cliche as a coach, but it's going to be a one game at a time thing.
It's a deep squad oozing with talent. Will your rotations and strength and depth be the key to the success?
I agree 100%. I think right now our depth is something that I'm really excited about. And as you know, in a long season, that's something that's going to be needed. There's going to be a lot of games we're going to be playing in multiple competitions. You know, hopefully we can stay healthy, but I think depth is going to be one of our strengths.
And are you happy with the way the team is gelled coming into this season opener?
I am. It's been an interesting preseason. We had 5 guys playing in Eurobasket, so we had our training camp was a mixture of some of our younger academy kids with some of the vets that came in early. You know, and over the last about week and a half, we were able to add those, GB guys and then Vojta from the Czech Republic. So it hasn't been ideal from any stance, but it's been good.
And finally, Coach, what are the keys to tonight?
I think for us, it's just going to be we got to defend. I think biggest thing for us right now, we know the offense is going to take a little bit of time to gel as we kind of get going, but our biggest thing from a pillar standpoint is we're going to defend multiple ways. I like our versatility, our length and athleticism. So if we can defend and do a good job early on, I think just kind of let the offense flow a little bit. And also, too, we know that with this team, we got to do a good job of keeping them off their glass and not allow second chance points.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
With all these new additions, Kieran, there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, but as a relatively young coach, he's already had success, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was watching him this summer actually in Canada, lifting trophies. So he's tasted success. He wants to be here. This is a great position to have. You've got owners who back the program, who are willing to invest into it. What else can you ask for as a coach? This is it. This is big time. Getting to play in Europe with great players, can't ask for more.
He name-checked it and referenced it there as well, Mike. The difficulty, the challenge of getting everyone to gel early on. Is that going to be singularly probably the Lions' biggest problem, biggest challenge in the early weeks of the season?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their roster, Dan said it earlier, this is one of the best rosters the BBL has ever seen. They've got a little bit of everything. So I think the biggest problem is getting them to stay on the same page, stay focused, and then also with the workload of games that they have playing in Europe and in the BBL, can they maintain throughout the whole season?
Coach Lyons talked about keys to the game. We picked out one singular key to the game being second chance points. Do you agree? Do you think that's the main thing tonight?
Yes and no. I understand the concept of it because you don't want them to get as many opportunities at the basket. I think Sheffield need to try and slow the game down a little bit, make it a little bit scrappy. Lions are so deep, they can run, they can get out there. You can slow the game down and make it a little bit scrappy. Sheffield basketball, they have a great chance.
All right then, we are almost set for game time. The 2022 BBL season tips off right after this.
This is the BBL. It's time you knew our name.
We're in Sheffield for the first game of the 2022 BBL season, and the All-Star London Lions are in town. They've got title ambitions for sure. The Sharks want to prove their own credentials to their fans. A packed house here tonight in the Steel City. This one is almost ready for tip-off. It's time for us to head over to Ant and Dan.
Thank you very much, Nat. Yeah, this is the best time of the season. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody believes it's going to be their year. This is the moment where it all comes to fruition, the hard work in the summer.
The clean slate down, the dreams are still real. The reality's not quite set in yet, and it's really, really exciting because even us, the so-called experts, don't know what's going to happen.
Well, we don't indeed. But let's take a look at the two teams for the game here tonight. Our starting five, starting with the Sheffield Sharks. And, well, the key thing for me, Sheffield, that starting five, 4 of those guys were here last year.
Retention has been excellent in this Sheffield Sharks. Yes, they've lost the Mike Tuck, but what they have got is continuity in the remaining guys that have came back. Big season here for Glasgow Junior now on the leadership and performance basis.
Well, looking at the London starting lineup, and Devon Van Oostrum, who joined late because of the Tariq Phillip injury. Sheffield connection, of course, back here in the Steel City. But you look at that lineup, what an incredibly talented starting five that is.
Abundance of talent, filled with NBA experience, but I think more importantly, Ovi Soko, the only one there with BBL experience, and that could come in clutch.
Well, here's Ovi back for a second spell with the Lions. And it is, as Kieran touched on, so exciting as fans of British basketball to be able to see the likes of Ovi Soko, of Luke Nelson, of Kareem Queeley, all of these guys that London have brought back for this Eurocup campaign, playing in our league every week.
It's great to see, and I think it's aspirations now for the young up-and-coming British players that we see. But what it's doing as well is attracting great talent from the import spots as well. Again, the caliber of players that they've been able to recruit this year. Yes, London Lions, but around the league as well, we keep seeing that bar push up and up, which then increases the overall quality of the league.
Well, the Lions out on court, and Sheffield just having a little chat between them before they head off. And we are almost ready to go to get things underway here in the brand new British Basketball League season. It is almost everybody's favourite. We managed to find 2 people in the country who don't think London are going to win the league, and then 2 of them are on our team.
I think Leicester riders for the league, but please don't be fooled. I think the last game of the season, the London Lions will win, and that's that BBL playoff final at the O2 Arena.
Well, here we go to get the season underway. Delpesh and Kufos will jump it up, and it's not the cleanest jump ball you've ever seen, but Sheffield will get the first possession. Here's Nelson to Glasgow, inside to Delpesh. Delpesh trying to go to work. Not easy against somebody with the size and wingspan of Kufos.
That's going to be the difference for Delpesh there. You know, Kufos, good 7 foot there, long, and he challenged that shot.
Here's Van Oostrum. Inside to Decker, double team comes, gives it off to Soko. Soko with a shot clock winding down, gets to the rim, and he will go to the line for 2.
A good decision there by Sam Decker. The double team came very quick, very good help from the baseline there. Decker, good vision there to spot his teammate Ovi Soko in a good position there, and he gets the defense to commit the foul.
Soko gets the first point on the board. You mentioned he is one of only a few guys on this London roster who have actually played in the BBL before. 12 league appearances to his name, but really only Josh Ward-Hibbett on that lineup with vast experience. But there is so much experience from all over the world compiled in London. Well, Mike Tuck has joined us in commentary, and Mike, you were talking about the pre-season. Oh, nice drive to the basket for Nelson to lay it in. That's some way to introduce yourself to the Sheffield fans.
Yeah, if we're talking about a new season and new players, Saeed Nelson is the new player for me on this Sharks team. He had an excellent preseason, hit the ground running. He's an aggressive guard. He's strong, really knows how to get in the lane, but he's also unselfish. He can kick the ball out and find his teammates.
Well, you talked about the preseason. Actually, Sheffield probably had a better preseason than London in terms of cohesion, because you had that trip to Portugal, which was slightly longer than it was meant to be, but they were all there, whereas London, because their team is so talented, had 5 guys playing at Eurobasket, and it kind of disrupted their preseason.
Yeah, we talked about it in preseason. I mean, we've got 6 guys returning. We've had a really good, togetherness type of a preseason, and now the guys are playing, like I said, way ahead of schedule in terms of sharing the ball and moving the ball.
Nice drive through the lane for the new Sharks captain in Glasgow.
Well, fearless as well, went right at the 7-footer there. That high-arcing floating shot gets it to go.
Well, Rotino has the job of trying to control Soko down on the low block, and Soko wanted the ball, gets it, and in the end is able to finish.
That's a tough finish there, Obisoko with Kipple Nichols. Kipple Nichols, very similar in stature to Obisoko as well, but found that positioning too deep there for him to stop.
Glasgow under pressure, able to recover the ball, but Van Oostrum all the way out there. Shot clock down to 5. Glasgow has the switch, takes the 3, and Van Oostrum with the rebound. Kufos. Decker kicks out to Van Oostrum. Broken up by Rotino. Nelson in transition. Rotino for 3. Knocks it down.
Jordan Rotino, he is a guy you have to locate. A supreme shooter from last season. Showing us his sharp shooting already.
He's looking for some options. Finding Soko. Decker has a look at the shot clock. Tough shot, and he strings it.
Jeez, the degree of difficulty on that shot. One dribble, step back with a hand in his face. That's what NBA talent does in this league.
Him being 6'8", 6'9" as well, able to just shoot that ball over a contested Glasgow, which really didn't even get any close to the shot.
They'll push back to Glasgow. Shot clock low again for Sheffield here. Glasgow has it out to Rotino, needs to get it up, gets it off in time. Doesn't hit, but London get the rebound so they can play. Quick pass down court to Decker. Soko has the position, and a good foul from Glasgow to prevent a potential and 1.
Soko doing what he does best. Extremely physical big in this league. Knows how to use his size, knows how to use his athleticism. Beating guys down the court and setting up shop in the paint. Sharks have to do a better job of getting back to the paint, recognizing early, getting our bigs back in transition.
Slightly hampered during Great Britain's Eurobasket campaign with an injury over Soko, but he's looking in good fettle out there so far. Here's Van Oostrum. Kicked out to Decker. Decker creates space for the shot. That one rims out. Cook into the game for the first time, grabs the rebound.
Good recovery there from Rotino.
Nelson, great drive, but didn't quite have enough on the finger roll. Oh, good hands from Nelson to steal it away from Soko. Glasgow in transition. The alley-oop is thrown up and Nichols jams it in.
Great steal there, anticipation. They're out to the races, running the floor. Nelson started that play, and nice 1-2 combo there for the dunk finish from Kipper Nichols.
Decker trying to find room under the basket, crowded out, blocked at the second attempt, and Kufos is there to clean it up.
And that's what Coach Tima Line said before the game. It's tipped off. Cannot allow these second, third chance opportunities in London. Make them pay there.
There's Nelson. Trying to shovel it in to Cook, knocked away. Soko has it, Decker out in front. Decker will jam it in.
Just like that on the other end of the floor. Obisoko's strength there and ability to He had to throw that pass while twisted. Sam Decker, that'll be one of the easier baskets he gets.
Kipper Nichols with a quick step to the basket.
I love to see that move from Kipper Nichols. He's a guy that can do many things on this court. The Sharks really need him to step up this season. He's a guy who plays in bunches and flashes, but consistently throughout the whole season, we've yet to see that from him yet.
He's improved year on year, and they'll be looking for even more from him, especially from the offensive end this season.
Yeah, he's got all the tools. Really a great talent, super athletic, can shoot the ball, can defend multiple positions. Really look for him to step up.
Well, that one called as a held ball, so that will, on the possession arrow, go to London. Wholesale changes for the London Lions with Sharba and Zubcic and Nelson into the game. Yemi coming in for the Sharks. They're also going to bring Banks Jr. in.
Sharks gone big here as well to match up with that tall lineup from the London Lions.
His best. Nelson lobs it up and foul by Nelson.
That was a great contest by Nelson. Yes, it was illegal in that it was a foul, but what Nelson prevented there was a monstrous dunk from Sharma, which I'm pretty sure would have happened had he not intervened.
Well, foul on the pass, so it'll be an end-line ball. Luke Nelson to inbound. Well, back to Sharma. Nelson kicks across. Zubcic trying to force it inside, but it's deflected away by Sheffield.
Quite customary of these turnovers, especially in not early season, where teams are still trying to create team chemistry and feel each other out.
Nelson driving hard, running into a hole. There's the other Nelson going the other way to Zubcic with the lane.
Another turnover and another quick basket for the London Lions.
Banks harassed. Away to Cook. Banks is going to fire up the three, rims out.
Not a good offense there from the Sharks. Very stagnant. The ball stayed in the court there.
Best. Around the screen, that's a moving screen. Foul is going to be called on Sharma.
This is where a new big man like Sharma has to get adjusted to the BBL.
Timeout has been called by the Sheffield Sharks. 3:20 to go in the first quarter. And they trailed the London Lions by a point. The interesting thing there was Lions were making another 2 substitutions coming into that before the timeout was called. So that means somebody who's come out on court is already coming back out. Such is the depth, and that it's always great to have a lot of talented players on your team, but there's still only 200 minutes out there to share around, and that is going to be a challenge, particularly these first few weeks where they're not playing on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night in the Eurocup.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a challenge, but it might be a good challenge to have when you have all these fresh bodies, especially when you're playing multiple games in a week instead of just your standard 1 or 2 BBL games. But obviously, these first few weeks, this is what this is for. You're usually ironing out kinks, finding out which lineups work well with each other. Now, typically we would have the cup games at the beginning of the season, so teams would have a little bit more leeway to figure it out. But now we're hopping right into the BBL, so a team like the Lions will have to figure it out a lot quicker than usual.
I think Coach Schmidt's really going to enjoy this deep roster. You can tell even at the pre-game interview, that smile on his face when he said we had depth. That's our strength this year. I think that's what they struggled with last year with injuries and inconsistencies of players. I think he's really going to relish here having this full roster here, and choosing minutes is going to be the least of his problems.
Foul called away from the ball. I think it might be on Nelson. It is 10 White that is shown to the table, Luke Nelson. Here's Banks. Glasgow. Trying to find some room in the paint. Throws it up high for 2.
Woo, that teardrop from Rod. That's my guy. When he takes his time and gets in that paint, he's lethal with that little teardrop shot.
So tough. He attacked the danger zone there, that defense, and was able to again get over that defensive contestant. Nothing but net.
Jordan Retino called for his second foul with a little too much pressure on Quealy as he was coming across mid-court, and that's going to see Retino sit down, much to the displeasure of Coach Lyons.
Back in, David Nichols, Jay Rack 6.
Jump change for 3. Nichols is first to the rebound.
Sheffield Sharks. Rocky Glasgow advancing.
Deflected out of bounds for a Sheffield ball midway through the shot clock. Glasgow into a double team, tosses it out to Cook, who loses his feet. Somehow gets the pass away. Shot clock down to 2. Everything but the finish there for Oganyemi. Pass only just reached its target. Zubcic with the long arm almost got that to go, and he will shoot 2.
Oh, it's an incredible play. The other end of the floor from Bennett Cook. Near turnover, then he always gets himself an assist while being on the floor. Other end of the floor here. Bennett Cook just trying to stay big, but he's moving his feet. And not a lot of contact there, but the referee being too much.
Welcome to the BBL.
Coach Lyons not happy about it.
Yeah, you can see Atiba's reaction. He got a warning from the referee during that as well. Just said, that's too much now. It's the back-to-back calls that he didn't like and complained against. Puts London back in front. Glasgow. Cook at the elbow, puts it on the floor, driving hard off the back of the iron. Quealy. Reverses around the other side, and another ambitious alley-oop throw. And Sheffield are able to break up.
Oh, it just goes to show how athletic Shaw really is. His teammates believe that he can catch anything and everything up in the air.
Nelson almost got that. It'll stay with Sheffield.
Bit of an adjustment to make on the ball screen on the wing there. They keep icing the play there, trying to take the big out of it. They need to make an adjustment on that play.
Glasgow gets into the three-point line. He shots off the mark. Ball batted up in the air. Sharma wins that one. Nelson inside. Zubcic tosses it up quick. I think he thought a foul was coming his way.
He had really good positioning deep there, but he just rushed the shot. I think you're right, Dan. I think he thought more contact was going to come there.
Here's Cook at the top of the key. Glasgow at the elbow. Got challenged. Looking at the referee for a whistle that isn't coming his way. Here's Luke Nelson. He takes a triple and knocks it down.
Miscommunication there on the screen. I think there should have been a switch there, but it took a long time for Glasgow Junior to get back. And Nelson says, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's not a guy you want to lose at the three-point line, Luke Nelson. Oganyemi with his foul.
I like that move from Oganyemi. He's attacking, he's being aggressive, didn't settle for that jump shot, what he could have took.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his game. Coming into this league for the first time, I think he's got a lot to give. He's got a great track record, and I think his biggest strength is his defense. I think he'll really help us on that other end. I got to stop saying us.
You do. Ball is loose. Sheffield don't get a reset. Nichols misses everything. He has to heave it because London never quite got possession to reset the shot clock. London will have the last offense here of this first quarter. Luke Nelson with the possession. Swatted for three. Misses everything. And the clock hasn't expired. Still 0.2 of a second remaining. Well, the Lions bench on their feet ready for the quarter talk, and they're told to sit down. Now they can get back up because we've reached the end of the opening period on opening night in the British Basketball League here in Sheffield. It is the London Lions who lead this one by 4 points. At the end of the first quarter at Ponds Forge, it's 14-18. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this break. Welcome back to Ponds Forge International Sports Centre, where the London Lions lead the Sheffield Sharks by 18 points to 14. We're not happy with London having all the depth. We have to have a bit of depth ourselves. We brought Drew in off the bench into the commentary. What do you made of the first quarter so far, Drew?
Well, the first thing is that the Sheffield Sharks come out here facing Goliath, and what I'm more impressed about is that they're not scared. They're battling back, but then on the other hand, the London Lions are seeking out mismatches down low. Sheffield is sending double teams and holding down the fort on the defensive end. So it's a great game we got in hand so far, fellas.
Here's Nichols for Sheffield. Under great pressure. Zubcic got a piece of that. And a 3-second violation is the call on Oganyemi.
Wow, we don't see too many of those. An excellent defensive set there from the London Lions. Heavily contested shot, and Kipper Nichols could barely get that off.
Well, Nelson against Nelson. Zubcic takes the foul.
And Zuba, somebody of that size, I mean, he moves very well. We saw him there in the first quarter moving on the break like a deer. Right there as he gets his body into Kipper Nichols, just a mismatch.
Nelson again finds some room on the three-point line, doesn't punish them this time. Stolen away though by Quealy. Quealy lobs it up. Well, I'm not sure whether he was trying to throw the alley-oop or a shot, but it was tipped in by Sharma.
That's the trust in your big man. No, Quealy just threw it up in the vicinity. If it went in, great. If not, he knew the big man would clean it up, and that's what he did.
And it helps being 7 foot as well.
It does.
He's back. And Zubcic is going to get called for his second personal foul.
Perhaps a little too aggressive there on that help from Zubcic. Came across there, and it's a pretty easy call for the ref, I think.
In an early season, this is the first game of the season. The offense is always going to struggle, but one thing that you can see that's clear between both of these teams is they're going to be in the top 5 defensively along with the Leicester Riders. So being active on the defensive end will be able to carry you through nights where you're struggling offensively.
And that is where the depth that London have really comes into its own, because if you're playing in 2 or 3 minute spurts, you can give it everything rather than playing 7 or 8 minute spurts.
Well, that's the first thing I noticed in the first quarter. They were picking Rodney Glasgow up full court, 94 feet, sending different bodies at him, and you can only do that when you have depth.
When you compare as well the minutes on a EuroLeague or a top European team, no one's playing over 25 minutes. The minutes are very dispersed because of the very reason you'll play a very intense 3-4 minute period. You'll come out back in again. So it's a model here that, again, I really think Coach Smith's going to enjoy this depth.
4-point London lead here, minute into the second quarter. Nelson drops it into Soko. Soko, short, batted about. Glasgow in the corner, and he hits the three.
Good ball movement there, and nice swing, and Rodney Glasgow Jr. is going to knock down the majority of those.
And I caught up with Rodney Glasgow pre-game, and you can see it in his eyes. He was locked in. He said that they're playing with house money tonight, nothing to lose, and you can see it in his effort tonight.
Soko has it knocked away by Nichols. Glasgow into a double team, able to get it away to Nichols. Drives hard and finishes well.
That's such a good take from Kipper Nichols. He went straight at the big man. No fear. And a very difficult finish.
And Sheffield have found themselves back in front here at 2 minutes into the second quarter, and that means London want to talk things over. Coach Smith calling a timeout.
And Mike touched on it earlier. If the Sheffield Sharks are going to go anywhere this season, Kipper Nichols has to step up and be that guy for the team.
I agree. He's been one of those guys. It's his 3rd season now. They believed in him, bringing him back every single year. He's improved every single year as well, but he needs that star status this year in order for this team to do well.
Well, you can see the aggression of London's defense. They missed on the rotation there. Not sure whose fault it was, but Soka's then having to run to the corner.
It was aggressive double team originally, so the team are always going to be playing catch up after that. To be fair, it's a really good cross-court pass to even get the ball out of the double team, but Rodney Glasgow Jr. stepping into those wide open jump shots, he's gonna have a field day given those. Where London Lions have to improve. 6 turnovers already, and the Sharks are growing in confidence, and more the London Lions make errors on the offensive end.
Sheffield have 9 points from those 6 turnovers, 9 of their 21 when London have turned it over.
And the biggest thing is, like I touched early, the Sheffield Sharks are competing. And if you out there and you competing, looking your opponent in the eye, that will take you a long way in this game.
Back underway here in the second quarter. Nelson. Soko. 5 on the shot clock. Soko looking to go to work and has his arms pulled away. He'll shoot 2.
He's so strong down there as well, and so aggressive attacking the rim, isn't he? He's one of those guys who's really good at fighting for that early position and making anyone who's guarding him pay, whether it's a guard or someone who's bigger. He really likes to attack them.
And Kieran Achara touched on it earlier, of the strength of Ovi Soko, and he's going to be a mismatch problem for BBL teams this season.
Well, he was in his first stint with the Lions, wasn't he? He was a guy who would average 18, 19 points a game, and he's not your finesse, beautiful sort of step back in your face, but he is an effective powerhouse down there, and someone you'd want to have on your team.
Luke Nelson against Luke Nelson, and it's Luke who's called for the foul.
And that's where BBL inexperience will hurt London Lions to a certain extent. Just learning how the game is refereed here. It'll take them a little time to adjust as Nelson picked up his second foul.
Quick leap from the bench from Best to get in there to replace him. He almost jumped over the advertising boarding to make sure that he got there in time.
Well, with all this talent, I would too before the coach changes his mind.
Glasgow gets into the key, dumps it off to Delpesh, who leaves it short.
Delpesh has to be ready to catch and shoot there. I think he's mindful of Sharma being around there. 7-foot figure trying to block his shot.
In the corner, all strength at Best.
Wow, some really, really good reports on Aaron Best. A winner in the Canadian League and a board scorer. Shows us a little bit of what he can do there in the corner three.
That's why he was in a hurry to get on court. Here's Nichols, just towed the line. That's worked too.
And if Kipper Nichols is doing that this season, that's just what the doctor order, a little off the dribble, hezzy, nothing but net.
Sharma drives into trouble, and it's an offensive foul. Nichols came over. The only question was whether he could get himself outside the no-charge circle.
That's a great defensive play. Kipper Nichols back-to-back fantastic plays. Gets across early, sets his feet, so there's no question marks from the referee, and takes the contact. I think Sharma came up wincing after that collision.
Well, they both kind of limped out of it. Nichols is carried on, but Sharma has gone right down to the end of the bench to the physios.
Oh well, on comes another 7-footer with NBA experience.
Yeah, exactly.
He's banked for three off the ball. Here's Decker. Decker gets in to the key, and that's too easy really for him.
A bucket getter, that's what you need on every single team, that you can score outside the offense, and Sam Decker just showed early that just give me the ball and let me go to work.
Banks, 10 feet along the baseline.
Banks, one of the new guys on the Sheffield Sharks roster, and that'll do him the world of good for his confidence to see that jump shot drop.
Kufos hands it off. Kufos wants it again down on the low block. He's got the size. Delpesh kept him at distance, made that hook shot a little further out than perhaps he would have liked.
Sometimes that 1 yard or half a yard out, it's all the difference, and you see that hook shot was short.
Nice finish from Kipper Nichols.
And we know that's what Kipper can do. He can post up. He has a little mini game himself, so great shot there by Kipper Nichols.
10 points personal already for Kipper Nichols, leading the way for the Sharks.
Decker has an inch of space, and that's all he needs for three.
Wow, he is creating points out of nothing. An inch of space, that's all it takes. Getting 6'8", 6'9", really difficult to contest and block that shot.
And how are you guarding him?
Help, help!
Delpesh has it knocked away by Soko. Delpesh still has it. Shot clock is running out though. Yemi driving in, gets all the way to the rim, that will count. And he'll go to the line for a bonus.
Wow, Javion Yemi. Tough finish there, shot clock winding down. Limited options and gets it to go.
And I'm not sure that's what the coach drew up, but Javion attacking the basket, showing his versatility that he can put it on the floor as well as he goes to the line for and one.
He's a good 6'9" frame. Oganyemi spent last year in Georgia, where he averaged very impressive numbers in 20 points, 14 rebounds a game. That league isn't considered as strong as this one, but again, someone who can put up those numbers, it's always a good sign.
It's out for three.
Drops it off the Delpech with the one-handed hammer.
Whoa, it's a thunder finish and a great play from the guard to drag the defense out. And Delpech gets on the score sheet, but busts the dunk.
Well, Soko threw that up. He wasn't too far away from getting a bit of a prayer, but what about this at the other end from Delpech?
And sometimes that's all you need to get going. This is a confidence play. So the next time Delpech catches it in the post, you'll see him be a little bit more aggressive moving forward.
Soko trying to get the 2 points back for London from the free throw line.
But we talked about his strength. I mean, he's currently shot 5 out of the London line, 7 free throw attempts. So I wouldn't be surprised if he led the league in free throw shooting this year.
Well, he's missed 3 of the 6 he's taken now. There is, again, some room, but Becker this time short.
The Sharks got fortunate there. Make sure they're securing those rebounds.
It's going to be a foul on Van Oostrum, just clearing Delpech to the floor.
And that's definitely the right call there.
They're over the limit, so it'll be a couple of free throws here for Marcus Delpech. I had to say, this is not the strongest aspect of his game.
Yeah, you can sometimes read how someone shoots a shot. It sounds silly, but there's a good miss. That is not a good miss. You have a nice soft miss that rolls in and out, like Obizoki did on that last occasion.
When
this
it
is
hits
a high arcing shot,
and the rim is usually not a good.
Well, he's going to get a third go at it because somebody stepped into the lane too quickly. I don't know if it was Prufroth. It was certainly he who came over for clarification from the referee. It was almost the same miss. It fell right back to Soko. Soko working with Decker on the pick and roll. Decker down low to Prufroth. You can see he got a lot closer to the basket against Oganyemi than he did on that previous one against Delpech.
he gets deep position like that, it's all she wrote. It's a blockable shot, a 7-foot shooter, a hook shot, and you can tell that it's so much more comfortable for him.
Knocks it down.
Wow. Showing us the whole repertoire tonight. Great shot.
Decker over to Soko. Soko. The ball away. Doesn't quite get the roll.
Good defensive possession there from Delpech. Moved his feet. He had the length there to contest it, make things difficult.
Delpech almost baited into shooting that. He knocks it down. Lovely.
I really like that confidence that he's missed 3 free throws in a row. It doesn't faze him. He stays aggressive and knocks it down.
It's spinning one way or the other, and then a miscommunication with Decker throws it straight out of bounds. Costas Goofus.
And that was great defense by Javion. Undersized there by about, what, 3 or 4 feet, but he holds the fort down, forces Goofus to throw the turnover.
You can see he's trying to get closer, and then Decker cutting back door, and the pass went to the corner. Here's Retino, fresh back into the game after those early fouls. Delpesh from the top of the key off the mark. Nichols gets a hand on it, but London come away with the ball. Van Oostrum. Decker now gets past his man all the way to the basket. Brilliant reverse finish.
Great move there from Sam Decker. The ability there to cross over, weave in between the defense, and a beautiful scoop shot finish.
It is a pretty play, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of that over the course of the season from him. He has 12 points and leads all scorers, and with 1:27 to go in the first half, timeout has been called by Coach Atiba Lions. They're leading by 2, and it's one of those things where you think, well, there's only 87 seconds to go, but he knows how important it is to finish the half well. They've got themselves a bit of a lead. Let's try and keep this into the locker room.
Oh, for sure, Dan. I think more than normal seasons, the margins of error are going to be even smaller this year, especially when you're facing against a roster as talented as this. And Coach Atiba Lions will know that more than most coaches in this league. And as you say, every single second, every single point matters. Even this early in the season, the first game.
London making their way back out on court, led by Sam Decker.
Apologies for the breakdown in communications before, by the way.
Sheffield now out of the timeout. End-line ball to the Sharks. Just under a minute and a half to go. They lead by a basket.
Sadie Nelson handling the run this time down.
Nelson round the high screens. Inside towards Nichols, but broken up by Kufos. The pass is deflected. Soko able to keep it. Soko shovels it off, and Bet with a huge throwdown.
Strong hands from Obi Soko to recover that ball, and Aaron Best flying in for the finish.
As you say, that could easily have been a turnover. Great work from Soko. There's an offensive foul called on the screen. Rodney Glasgow called for it.
As you say, Dan, these minutes as you enter the half time, really important here. If London can muster a little run here, they'll find themselves on top at half time. Momentum going into the second half.
Well, that was Glasgow's second foul, so he sits down, and Retino, who's also on 2, is going to get the last 53 and a half seconds off as well. London looking to regain the lead. Devin Van Oostrum. Decker. Decker to the fall-away, got caught on the arm. No whistle, but the basket is good.
That is absolutely tough. Great defense from Kipper Nichols, doing everything he possibly could.
Including fouling it, by the way. Nelson getting to the basket and laying it in.
Ego and an ego. He did everything he could. Shaheed Nelson, other end of the floor, squeezing his way to the rim. Another good finish from him.
Ties it up at 37, and Coach Schmidt's going to call a timeout here to draw up a play for this final offense of the first half. 22.8 seconds left in it, so he can take it all the way. Here is that last move by Decker. Just watch his elbow here as he hits this fadeaway. Just gets caught on it, but still somehow has the strength to finish.
That's the size difference as well. Kipper Nichols is a good 6'6". Sam Decker 6'8", 6'9", with those skills. That's why you play in the NBA for as long as he did. You know, you can't play in the NBA for 4 years by accident. Incredibly talented player. Wimbledon.
14 points off 60% shooting so far. A couple of assists, offensive rebound as well. The game in the efficiency ranking so far.
I think London will be more happy, given that they don't create any more turnovers this quarter. They had 6 in the first quarter and just 2 turnovers in the second quarter, so you can see things tightening up a little bit on offense and looking a little bit more fluid.
Sheffield are going to show some full court pressure here. Melts back. Van Oostrom ticking it down. 10 seconds now. Here's Decker. Decker around the screen from Soko. Step back. Tough one. Got hit. And he'll go to the line for 3 free throws.
Wow.
Or is he? Wait, the referee's just going to chat it over here, I think. They might be chatting about whether there's any time left. I don't think there's any question about the foul. I can only assume they're just debating as to whether there's any time. 0.3 is the decision that they're going to put on the clock.
I'm not sure. I'd have to see that one again, but this is where the psyche then...
Here we go. Let's see if we can see it. You can see the clock there. Ooh, I think it might have been a bit more than 0.3. Not much more, like about 0.8, 0.9 maybe.
It's very similar too for the first one that wasn't called, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time before it's called, and you stay aggressive. What Sam Decker has gets rewarded now.
His first trip to the free throw line today. He's 2 of 2. And all of them hit the bottom of the net. Well, they just tossed it in the first time. They'll just toss it in at the end of this quarter as well. And we're at the half here at Ponds Forge. And Sam Decker, as advertised, is leading the way for the London Lions. 17 first half points. And it's the Sharks who trail by 3 here in Sheffield.
It's been a great first half, hasn't it, Dan? Some lead swings as well. You know, we feel like little momentum spurts have happened already. Sheffield Sharks came out swinging. They've been very aggressive both ends of the floor. But it's the London Lions who found a way. Their talent has prevailed.
Well, you can see Atiba Lyons having a long discussion with the officials. He's unhappy about 1 or 2 foul calls in there. Let's have a look at the numbers in this game so far. And you can see that London have made a couple more 3-point shots without, lighting it up. 36% is okay from long range. But you talked about the turnovers and how they cleaned that up in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think with the 3-point shooting as well for the Sheffield Sharks. When Routinho got in foul trouble, I think that really hurt them and their spacing as well. But no, London Lions did a great job of looking after the basketball in that second quarter.
Well, they certainly did, and the turnover points slowed down for Sheffield as a result of that. Let's get some reaction from the first half with 10 points. Kipper Nichols is with Mike Tuck.
Kipper, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. A great start from you. Besides that last little ticky-tack call there, don't worry about that one, but it seems like you've been really activated this game. Offensive plays, you took a charge, you've been aggressive. Is this a new and improved Kipper Nichols?
Not at all.
What's changed from last day's season into this season?
I think with each year, you gain more confidence. You gain,
when we have our nucleus come back the way we have the past 2 or 3 years, you gain a better sense of camaraderie between the team. And I think that has made all the difference, especially this year. We got out here and played that preseason tournament, which was very beneficial.
Yeah, let's talk about the game now. The offense looking a little bit stagnant in that first quarter. Was that just growing pains first game back?
Yeah, I think we had some jitters. Guys sped up just due to the atmosphere. It comes with it. But I think this second half we'll settle in pretty well.
In the second quarter, things really started to take off. You being a big part of that. What did Coach Lyons say at the break?
Just to start out, get going on defense. You know what I mean? Don't worry about the offensive end too much. It'll take care of itself. And that's what we hang our hat on. So.
Kipper, great to see you back with the Sharks, my man. Good luck in the second half.
Absolutely, glad to be back. Thank you.
Yeah, he was happy with the Sharks' first half, and he should be, because they went toe-to-toe with the Lions for pretty much all of it. A narrow lead for London, but this one is all to play for. Reaction and analysis coming next. Welcome back to Sheffield, where we have a 3-point ball game at the half. The Sharks have shown real fight, as they did for much of last season. Kipper Nichols, who we saw just before the break, having the first half. London lead it, but this one is absolutely wide open. And the stats support that pretty much across the board right now. In most categories, it's even Stevens. The Lions edging the Sharks in 3 points. Second chance points, as the Tiba Lions told us, Kieran Achara. Proving to be the difference right now, the Lions edging that.
Yeah, definitely, and it's fine margins because this game has been so close. Both teams have been locked in defensively, and unfortunate for the Sheffield Sharks are 3 points down.
Now, London delayed en route here, so they got in very late, meant that affected their warm-up. Did that show at all in the first half?
Not really. I'm a guy that pay attention to everything, and I've actually showed up here before late myself, and I didn't see anything out of the London Lions body language that they were looking for any excuses. They just cleaned their shoes off, came out here, warmed up as best as they could, and got to work.
Surprised you. We were watching the game as we always do, and you said how alert London looked, particularly defensively at times, and how sharp and the pace they were playing seemed markedly different to you compared to last year.
Very much so, and they're a complete team. You know, they can play slow, they can play fast, they have all the different lineups. But the little intricate details I was noticing, so for example, none of them were getting screened easy. They were moving around the screen, they were alert. You know, and I think that's a great sign for any coach to come in at the start of the season, players ready to play.
Now, Sam Decker was a player we keyed in on, unsurprisingly, at the top of the show, and he's showing his class, the leading scorer on the court with 15. And Kieran, he's a player that could create something out of nothing, isn't he?
You know what? He's so fun to watch. To me, it looks like he doesn't get rattled in any way. Under pace, so controlled, but gets his spots, got a nice release. It's like he's out there practicing. That lovely Euro step there. I was saying he's a three-way scorer. He can score multiple ways, gets to that mid-range, takes his time, and that's a foul. That's just great basketball.
You're happy about that, not least because it's great to watch, but also he's your MVP pick as well. So that's looking good early doors. Rodney Glasgow, the Sheffield Sharks skipper, a player we talked about with the former Sharks captain Mike Tuck at the top, and said, well, it's a big job, but he is leading by example, Drew. 6 assists. How key was his distribution in keeping this Sharks offense ticking in the first half?
Well, he showed us the whole arsenal there in the first half, hitting that wide open three there, but most impressively, like you mentioned, that the distribution of the ball. I mean, look at this pass here out of the double team. Cross-court pass here, and that's just a beautiful pass. So he's giving these other guys confidence, setting up easy looks as he throws it over the top there. And like I said it there on comms, I spoke to him pre-game there. I saw it in his eyes. Whenever you're a competitor, you want to see if you can play at the highest level. And he has the opportunity here tonight, and he's proven that he can.
You obviously got him fired up for the game, Drew. We chatted to him before. Got him fired up. Yeah, in terms of Kickburn Nichols, we saw him chat to Mike in the interview just after the end of the first half. It's a big year for him, his third in Sheffield.
Yeah, he mentioned that how you grow in confidence. But that's the one thing I've always challenged is consistency. There's nights he always shows up defensively for me, but he needs to be that scorer. And that's been Sheffield's problem. They're the Achilles heel. Sometimes they can't score at the basket, but they're always going to be locked in defensively. Great to see him off to a great start in that first half.
Now, we haven't talked to you about your predictions yet, Drew. We've talked to the rest of the guys, but let's take a look at them. Looking pretty good so far, quite frankly, because you, like pretty much everyone else, has gone for London to take the title, certainly. Talk us through that. How confident are you with a massive sample size of half a game of basketball?
Well, Nat, have you been watching the game? They got some guy called Sam Decker that can get something out of nothing. Currently almost 20 points there in the first half. So with their depth, it's just impressive. I love how they're guarding guys 94 feet. So I am very confident in that pick.
Now, at the bottom there as well, your surprise team, both of you have gone for Surrey, rock bottom last year. New head coach, new hope, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I got a chance to watch these guys in preseason last week. I was very impressed. They got a new coach there. It's a new era. What we talked about in Surrey in the past, the transition defense and how their ball was sticky. The ball was moving. The ball was popping. And I like the role that Teo's in now, coming off the bench, just being a role guy. And it looks like he's worked on that corner three this summer. Let's
see how Lloyd Gardner's new Chargers are getting on. They're one of the 4 other teams in action this evening in the BBL. And at the moment, they're down 13 to the Cheshire Finns. Don't relax, fellas, relax. It's early doors, quite frankly. Long way to go there. It's much tighter in the Bristol-Manchester game. You remember at the top, of course, a number of people big on Manchester this season. Vince McCauley in charge there now. Your old mate Fletch, amongst other new signings for them. 59-57, the latest there. And, of course, at the half, it is 40-37 to the Lions against the Sharks in our live game. So very quickly, Kieran and Chara, second half, I guess more of the same from both sides. Both coaches will be going into the halftime reasonably happy.
I guess so. I think actually Sheffield will be even more happy. I think London Lions still have another gear to them, and it's Sheffield has been disrupting that. So I think if it's more than the same in the second half, I think Sheffield are going to be in the game. But I expect London to come out all guns blazing.
Well, like I said, it was a difficult start to this game for London, given the problems they had travelling here. But they haven't shown it affect them so much. Sheffield, though, are up for a fight, as we expected they would be. Wide open, and the second half is coming next. Tight game here to lead off in Sheffield. The London Lions, who have re-upped and then some going into this season, only have a narrow lead against the Sheffield Sharks, a team who've brought back the majority of their starters from last season. And that cohesion and fight is very much showing after the first half. It is all to play for here. So let's get back over for the second half. Anand and Dan.
Thank you very much, Nat. Yes, it is indeed all to play for. Mike, Sharks only won opening day once in the last 7 years. What have they got to do to turn that round and win on opening day here this season?
I think defense is going to be critical, and I think keeping our energy and matching the energy of the London Lions. They're a very energetic team. You can tell they're very locked in. Their benches. We need to match that energy, and if not, beat it.
My question is, what was Mike Tuck doing in those opening games? 1 for 7?
He was easing his way into the season.
Easing my way into retirement. But I will point out we're at a sellout crowd here as my first year as marketing manager for the Sharks. Let's turn that into a positive.
Always excelling, Mike Tuck. Always excelling.
So much appreciated to the people of Sheffield for coming out and supporting us tonight.
Well, Van Oostrum with a dangerous-looking pass there on the end line, but Decker was able to keep it alive. And a little touch pass back to Decker, long two, all string.
Smart play from Kufels there to quick release of that pass. And he's one guy you do not want to leave open, and that is number 7, Sam Decker.
Stolen away by Van Oostrum, and is that an unsportsmanlike? Yes, it is.
Good early pressure here from London Lions. Glasgow Junior doesn't lose the ball too often. Good pressure there from Van Oostrum.
Just got him from behind in transition.
I think
by rule, that has to be an unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, that's the difference now with this London team. They've got a guy like Van Oostrum. They've got Luke Nelson. Taller guards, longer arms that are, really springy, and they're going to play aggressive defense like that. They're going to get it. Get a couple fouls here and there along the way, but that aggressive defense is going to help win you games down the stretch.
Never actually got on court for Sheffield, Devon Van Oostrum. His brother played for the Sharks. He did play one game for Leeds very briefly, but I'm sure we'll see a lot more of Devon Van Oostrum this season than we did that year. Decker dropping it off to Soku, wasn't quite ready for it, and there's a whistle in there. I think Kufers had hold of Nelson possibly. Let's have a look. Yeah, just pushing him slightly out of the way.
Yeah, that looked like that one hurt too. Those elbows to the jugular don't feel good.
Well, London have opened a 7-point lead here at the start of the second half. Can Sheffield get their first score on the board? Nelson, 5 on the shot clock. Looking to attack, create some room. Great challenge by Best. Decker to the spin. Just short, but Kufers gets him a new 14. Soko through the traffic is rejected. He wants a foul. Referee says no. That'll be a London ball from the end.
Some good rim protection there from the Sheffield Sharks. Both Yemi and Del Pesh going after it.
6 on the shot clock for London to work with on this inbound. Here's Decker. Decker to the fall away. Wasn't that far away, difficult shot. Nelson runs into Soko, has to come back out. Look at Yemi. Easy rebound for Van Oostrum, who quickly kicks it down court to Best. Great pass from Devon Van Oostrum.
It's a great look there, and that's one of the reasons why they acquired Van Oostrum, that point guard, that leadership, that vision on the court. A prime example there of getting his teammates involved.
Nelson driving into traffic again. Soko did well not to foul there, make the shot difficult. Decker, extra pass onto Van Oostrom.
Pace of this game is really picking up here. I think that plays into London's hands quite a bit here. So Sheffield needs to just keep an eye on not shooting too early, shooting the right shot, shooting good shots, finding open guys.
Well, they haven't scored yet in this third quarter. Van Oostrom drops it off, lovely pass. And that is an 8-0 start to the second half by the London Lions, and all of a sudden they have an 11-point lead.
I think it's a valid point. I think the intensity of this game has increased, and the intensity has seemed to work in the favour of the London Lions, who seem to be growing in with that intensity. And Sheffield Sharks look a little bit shell-shocked there at the start of the second half.
Yeah, I really like the intensity they came out with in that second quarter, but I think that foul on Decker towards the end of that second quarter really kind of took the air out of their tires there. So I was expecting a little bit more fight from the Sharks here to start this third quarter, but hey, it's a game of runs, and the Sharks just have to stick with it. I think offensively they have to find a rhythm here.
Well, the problem has been they've been getting towards the basket, but the way the Lions have challenged every shot made it a lot more difficult, and the size and the length that they have to put it over. And Soko, with his strength as well, it's not been easy for Sheffield to get a look at the basket.
Yeah, you got to take your hats off to London on the offensive end. You know, they're sticking with plays, you know, second chance points. They've got guys cutting from the wing constantly on drives. I mean, they're not making it easy to defend them. So I think, you know, Sharks just need to keep their head on a swivel and like I said, match that intensity. You know, match their intensity, especially on the defensive end.
Well, Sheffield coming out of that timeout, having seen the first 8 points of the period go against them. Can they find a way to get their side of the scoreboard ticking?
Talk to me.
Foul called as Nichols took the mid-range jump shot. Soko his second.
It's a good response there from Kipper Nichols again. Someone who looks to me like he's willing to take the responsibilities of the offense on his shoulders. 10 points for him personally, and again going at Ovi Soko.
And if there was a guy on the court right now for the Sharks that could get you a bucket when you need one, he is that guy. And we've talked about it, you know, in years past where we're begging him to be more aggressive, and I think that's the change this season. Watching him come in, he's been, you know, had a little bit more of a chip on his shoulder. He knows that he needs to step up. He knows this is his third year. You know, he wants it to, you know, more responsibility, a bigger piece of the pie, and this is his opportunity.
Well, he gets the first 2 points of the second half on the board for Sheffield. Soko is kind of trapped here, needs to get it away. Decker with a bullet pass. And Kufos took his time, patient with it for the finish.
Smart play there from Kufos, who had great positioning down low. Sort of fell in the rim there. Great move.
Just a large human being.
Best wrapped up with Cook, and the foul is on the London Mavs. Sheffield ball from the end. Nelson out to Banks for three. Queeley with the rebound. Here's Decker. Decker from Queeley. Short. Rebound Cook. Regino in the corner. Decker with the rebound.
That's a great pass, though. And Martinho, 40% three-point shooter, excuse me. It's a good look for him.
Nice pass from Soko out of the double team to Queeley.
Really good job there. Robbie Soko didn't panic. Pass was on the money. A perfectly timed cut from Queeley there.
Martino driving all the way to the basket for two.
That's the Jordan we want to see. That's the Jordan we love to see. Obviously a 40% three-point shooter, but that guy can also slash to the basket like nobody's business. Great drive from him. Shot doesn't drop.
Koufos finishes that one, and he'll go to the line for a bonus.
Costa Koufos this time spinning baseline, and then nice balance and focus to be able to finish the play.
Big man is getting activated in this quarter.
Well, if he makes the free throw, he's going to get a break. Sharma is ready to check in for him. He's into double figures now. 10 points, 5 rebounds, a couple of assists and a couple of steals as well.
It's a good sign for London Lions that Sharma's introduced into this game. He looked like he'd rolled an ankle after he picked up that offensive foul. But not serious enough to keep him sidelined, which is good news if you're in the London Lions camp.
Pressure from the Lions, just about dealt with by Sheffield. Here's Banks. Sharma forced him to throw it a little higher. And here he is at the other end, jamming it in off the pass from Obi Soko.
Well, you can see the Lions looking to do a lot of that. They're throwing the ball high, just get in the area of Sharma. The ankle looks pretty good to me.
Banks to inbound for Sheffield from the side, down 16. It's really got away from them here in this second half with a 17-4 opening 5.5 minutes. Cook from the elbow, tough shot.
Great shot from Bennett Cook. That's typically a shot he wouldn't shoot, but we've seen a lot of that from him in preseason. I think he's got a lot more confidence from that with that elbow jumper this year.
Nice pass from Nelson. And Cook's going to get called for the blocking foul.
It's a really nice pass, Dan. It looked like he didn't mean to do it. It looked like he lost the ball. It was that deceptive.
Soko will sit down. 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists for Ovi Soko.
He's had a good game, as well as a lot of positive things for his team. Both ends of the floor.
Well, London's bench just got a warning there. I think it was about the assistant coaches standing up. Queeley. Nelson, 5 on the shot clock, takes the 3. Front iron. Cook trying to use his strength and using it well, but it doesn't drop.
It's an excellent move. He faced up there, took his time in a powerful move to the basket, just doesn't finish.
Queeley scooping it up, and that will be a Sheffield ball. No, it won't. It'll be a London ball. Referee changed his mind. Not quite on the radar there, a little behind Queeley. I think somebody in the front row might have caught it with his teeth there.
It's a hazard of the game, baby.
It's a
That's why you pay. That's why you pay for the good teams.
The big teams, yeah.
Mike's getting a strongly worded email Monday morning. You told me it was going to be a great experience.
Never again.
Bank shot off the mark. Here's Nelson. Broken up by Cook. Bertino for three. He goes down. London wanting a flop warning. I think he might get one. Here's Nelson. Kicks it out into the corner. Lovely pass and a wide open shot from Mo Soluade.
Great penetration from Nelson. He seemed to just suck the whole defense in there, and nice looking corner three.
Delpesh. Will that count? No, it won't. Fouls on the floor.
Solade in the corner there for that three after the penetration from Nelson. Well, we often say this point of the season, it's you don't know how well a team have gelled together, the chemistry, etc. But really positive early signs here for this London Lions team. They're sharing the basketball and getting good shots for their teammates. The struggles just continue here. 6 points all quarter for the Sharks.
Yeah. It was a 3-point game at the half. Good ball movement, and Zubcic lays it in.
Beautiful catch in traffic there. And finish. Zubcic.
Glasgow trying to find some room for himself, and doing so. That's tipped off the ring, though, by Sharma and jammed in by Delpesh.
Delpesh, such springs in those legs of his. Quick up and down, and nice finish.
This is what Delpesh does best. He's the dunker spot. If there's that's in the dictionary. He is a picture of that is next to him.
Nelson with the long arm to get the shot away. There's a foul on the rebound. 20 is the number of Josh Sharma, and because the London Lions are over the limit, it's going to be 2 free throws for Sheffield. Just a little nudge in the back of Bennett Cook.
Sharks would be so relieved to see that go down. They've been on 6 points for a long time.
He knocks down both free throws. Zubcic. Sharma. Spinning to the hook. Nice finish.
That was a nice play. Baseline was denied. Span back middle and soft hook shot finish.
Cook puts it on the floor, driving hard to the hole, and he will shoot 2. And it's going to be the 4th foul on Sharma.
Well, I like this matchup here. Bennett Cook and Sharma, nice little battle going on down there. And Bennett Cook, one of these guys, doesn't step down to anyone, does he? He likes these little personal battles with the other big.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's one of those guys that on his best night he can look like the best big in the league. You know, that's one of the things that we preach to him in the locker room. Bennett just has to stay aggressive. But he can play with anybody in this league, and he's proved it on many a night. On the other side, Sharma looks great. Great new addition to the league. Great big. You know, able to handle it a little bit. Drive from the wing, but also soft touch inside and super athletic.
Decker falling over, throws it away. Numbers here for Sheffield. Glasgow dumps it off to Rotino for two.
A good play from Glasgow. Didn't get it up too early, where the defense made a recovery. Took it as far as he could to the rim. A nice little dump down pass.
And finally, some consecutive baskets for Sheffield here, and waking the crowd up a little bit. That's what they need. Stop the bleeding a little bit and get the ball to fall down the other end.
Well, that run has cut the gap to 13. You can see 7 and 7 for the Sheffield captain. Nelson runs out of room on the baseline. Nichols with the last few seconds here to work with in the third quarter. Glasgow looking inside. It's going to be heaved up on the buzzer, and that will do it for a very good third quarter for the London Lions. They really dominated at the defensive end for the first 6 or 7 minutes of that. Sheffield a little bit of a rally later on in that quarter, but 24-14 London won that period, and that is why they have themselves a 13-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Is there anything left in this for Sheffield to cut the gap, or will London continue to motor here on opening day? We'll have the fourth quarter after this. Welcome back to Sheffield, where the Sharks trail the London Lions by 13 here with 10 minutes to play. It is Sheffield who have possession to start it in the fourth quarter. pass only just reached Glasgow. Nichols under all sorts of pressure, gets a whistle. The London bench can't believe it. And they've got a technical foul for their protestations.
A little bit of daylight here and a little bit of hope for the Sheffield Sharks. I thought they moved the ball really well, but it's a really good defensive set there from London Lions. Rotations were on point, and it's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in that third quarter, the talent of the London Lions and the defensive pressure established in the first half began to overwhelm Sheffield there. And that's why you pick up full court. It's not to get steals, it's to wear down guards later. As you see Glasgow there with his hands on his knees, and so same thing with Nelson. So this London Lions team defensively is going to be a thorn in every BBL team's side this season.
Yeah, I really like the way London Lions are playing defense.
There's some confusion from the London players. They didn't realize the technical had been called for the after the bench. So the first free throw was for technical. The second free throw was the first of two shots. And they were going, why can't we line up? They could have lined up, but they didn't get there quick enough. And once the shooter's got the ball, you can't. Now they can line up, and this will be a live ball. Well, makes all three, cuts it down to 10. Banks called for the blocking foul. Zubcic. Decker along the baseline, lays it in for two. He's past the 20-point mark.
Oh, he does a little bit of everything, doesn't he? I feel like he's going to put that shot up and squeezes some space on the baseline and propels towards the rim.
But we talked about the defense of the London Lions. What's been most impressively for me on the offensive end is the way they've been zipping the ball, unselfish, making the extra pass to find the open man.
Nelson knocks that loose, but it falls to Nichols. Gets the shot away over the top and out of bounds. And that will go back to London. Another good defensive stand by the visitors.
Really good. And you can just see how hard it is for Sheffield Sharks to even get a shot off, let alone a score. And again, the guys aren't wearing down because you've got not one person on that roster that's played, 30 plus minutes. Minutes have been distributed evenly and the energy levels have stayed high.
Well, Decker at 21 is the most minutes. Foul is called on Saluari, I think. Yeah, this is number. I didn't see what he did.
Well, this is a message to the rest of the BBL teams. You are not going to beat the London Lions by off the dribble. You're going to have to get really creative in your sets. You're going to have to get great ball movement because their on-ball defense is pretty darn good.
On the ball,
Nelson. And he loses it out off his own feet, and London get the ball back.
1 through 5. Good defensive pressure and resistance from this London Lions team.
Here's Decker. Lawani for three. Too long. Falls into the hands of Nelson. Good hands from Quealy to steal it away. He's off and running. Gets the slap on the wrist and didn't quite have enough because of the contact to lay it in, but he will shoot two.
That defense, that aggressiveness, hands in the passing lane, good anticipation. And Good take from the young fella.
Great body. And I think it was a missed opportunity there for Sheffield. You have to push the ball in transition because, like we said, if you're going up against their set defense, you're going to struggle. So any opportunity you have to run, you got to push the basketball, as Saeed Nelson pulled it back out and tried to run the offense.
Well, opening night in the British Basketball League has seen a victory for the Bristol Flyers down at the SGS. 79-78, they beat the Manchester Giants. Wow. 5 double-doubles in that game, for 3 for Bristol, a couple for Manchester as well. Big one for William Lee, and another 11 assists from Ramon Fletcher, but all in defeat. And, well, Moxie's brother Malcolm Delpeche on the winning side with 19 points and 15 rebounds.
All I'm going to say is Bristol fans, take it easy on Kieran Achara and I, because we picked them last. Kieran Achara told me to pick you guys last. It wasn't me.
Twitter is open right now if you guys want to have your say.
Nice one, Dan.
21.
Another great move there by Decker. I mean, first of all, he's 6'9", and then he's just so slippery when he's attacking the basket. And then we know what he can do off the dribble. I mean, this guy, he can score on all 3 levels. So it's going to be interesting to see over the course of the season how teams in the league game plan for this guy.
Well, just some explanation to the table for that call. So Decker will go to the free throw line. The result in the other game, by the way, was Surrey 81, Cheshire 96. Jamel Anderson with 22 points on his return to Cheshire. Timeout was requested. That was what the confusion was requested after the ball was live, so it has to come after the timeout. And the London Lions back out to a 16-point lead. We saw at the start of the third quarter, defensively, then crank it up. Points become hard to come by for Sheffield. They've done it right again at the start of the fourth quarter here, giving up just 3 points in the first 2.5 minutes.
But we also know historically with the Sheffield Sharks is that they depend on their defense, and what we criticized them on in the past is offensively. So, you know, they got to find another guy who can put the ball in the cup consistently. We see Kipper Nichols has stepped up tonight, and Ronnie Glasgow had a great first half, but, you know, we got to see some other guys bring something to the table.
You can just see the energy levels dropping slightly as well from Sheffield Sharks, not through lack of trying, more so through just the fatigue setting in. You know, you got Kipper Nichols, who's had a tremendous game, 15 points, but he's played 29 minutes himself. So you can start to see now the intensity. London Lions are relishing this just because the bodies are rotating on and off the bench, and the intensity levels are increasing as the game goes on.
And the thing is, you guys touched on it earlier, is that there's never going to be any let-off, because at the end of the day, you're a competitor, whether you play 5 or 20 minutes, you want to play. So when you get your opportunity, whether you're up 20 or 30, you're going to come out there and give it your best.
Well, the other thing is, the only way to get from 5 to 20 is to make the most of those 5 minutes when you're out there. If you are lower in the rotation and want some more minutes, you've got to play hard while you're out on court.
That's exactly right. So not only do they have a tough start in 5, they got a bench full of hungry athletes.
Ruthless window runner, that will count, and he'll go to the line for a bonus.
Wow. Costa Kufos going straight back at Bennett Cook. And 1. 13 points personal for Kufos.
And he just told us, because I'm sat there next to the London Lions bench, he's playing terrible. So that's a scary outfit for everybody else if there's more to come.
Well, the Lions don't begin their Eurocup campaign until the 11th of October, when they go to Tel Aviv to take on Hapoel. So in the short term, they don't have that Wednesday night, Tuesday night game across the continent to worry about. So they can get themselves in some rhythm before they go to fly the flag. After that, it's pretty much every week, almost up until Christmas. There's a few weeks off over Christmas, but it is a long and arduous campaign, the Euro Cup. They changed the format last year, so it's groups of 10, and they have to play each other home and away, so it goes all the way to the end of March, the regular season of the Euro Cup. So they do have a lot of games to play this season, but they have a lot of talent as well.
And they got two guys over there that's played 82 games in a season before, as Kustis Kufis and Sam Decker, there with the experience of managing their bodies on a long calendar schedule.
Of course, we haven't really mentioned the fact that Urban isn't playing tonight for them. And obviously, he has a ton of European experience to bring to the table as well.
So you're telling me they have more assets?
Yes.
That's not suited up?
Yeah. Well, that's half the battle for Coach Schmidt is which 12 guys do I put on the sheet?
But again, it's a great
Josh
problem to
Ward-Hibbert
have.
coming in for the first time today.
He was great for them last year, plagued by injuries. Had some positive performances for the Lions last year. One of the few players to return from last year too, so speaks volumes of him.
Quayle has a free lane to the basket and he jams it in.
It just seemed to open up, didn't it? And Quayle just kept rising. And
looked like he was jumping off a trampoline there.
Oh, jealousy of the youth.
I remember the days.
Nichols at the elbow, knocks him down. And 17 for Kipper.
Yeah, and Kipper's been solid tonight. I mean, he sits there with 17 points, 6 for 7, very efficient. But the way this Sheffield Sharks team has been built, he's going to need to average high teens, maybe 20 points a game this year.
Oh, that's a lovely spin move from the big man.
Created so much space on that first dribble, which Bennett Cook has to deny that area. And that spin away from the defender creates so much space.
Well, 18 points and 7 rebounds, and he said he's having a bad night. He's 8 of 10 shooting as well. Watch out for the good nights.
Goodness me.
On the ball, Aaron Best for the Lions.
Best driving in, gets bumped, and that will go. Aaron Best with the and one.
And I like Best's games. First of all, he's a lefty. He's been picking up 94 feet there as he gets to his left hand and finishes high and soft off the glass there. And he also has experience playing with Coach Smith as he played there and won him a championship in the Canadian League. So Coach knows what he's going to get out of Best.
Well, a 5th foul as well for Bennett Cook. He leads the game with 8 points and 3 rebounds. Atiba Lyons has called a timeout with 4:20 to go. His team are trailing by 21 points, which is the biggest lead of the game for the London Lions, and there is no let-off for them. This is not a team that's going to cruise in for the last 4:20, London.
And that's exactly right, like we just talked about. Now you got Josh Ward-Hibbert that he finally gets a taste. So, you know, he's going to bring out the energy and show coach and show his teammates what he can bring to the table for later on down the road. So, you know, Sheffield tonight, they just ran out of talent. So they show what they can be capable of there in the first half. And the depth of the London Lions just overwhelmed them.
Well, it looks like Caboza is going to come out onto the court for the first time for the London Lions as well. And what a breakout he had in the closing months of last season. Rewarded with a long-term deal in the summer.
And I'm sure that's something that you're proud of, to see a fellow Brit getting a long-term deal. That's been something that you haven't really seen in this league, but we're moving in that direction. Rodney Glasgow got him a 3-year deal, so love the things that I'm seeing off the court here in the league.
No, it's great to see, and I think it's great for the league as well, that continuity, and I think players buying into the organisation as well. There's something intangible about having that connection with the club that can help spur you in performances.
Nelson, room for 3. Best dived out late. Might have just caught him, might have saw him in the corner of his eye there. Kufus trying to go behind the back, loses the ball. Nelson gets to the rim, takes the foul.
Tough finish from Shahid Nelson. Right at Caboza. Tough finish.
He just got into his body and just hung in the air for a little bit, extended the arm, and nice and one finish by Nelson.
Well, we talk about the energy levels and the transparencies from both teams. You look at the battle of the boards as well, 37 to 21. Substantial favour of the London Lions, and that just grinds on you as the game goes on.
Well, there's been almost no second chance opportunities for Sheffield. It's been pretty much one and done. And they're doing a great job ensuring they get almost every rebound at the defensive end. It's best. Should got to shoot it, gets it away. Just a little short.
Good defense there by the Sharks.
Nichols. Nelson turns the corner, breaks through the defense. Change of pace there. They didn't look, as he turned the corner, to be much room, but he sliced through the heart of the defense.
Exciting signs from Shahid Nelson. He's got to the basket. He hasn't had the volume of shots today. Hasn't been perhaps as aggressive as he could be. But again, plays like that show the potential and ability of a new player. Explosive, exciting as he attacks the rim.
Well, he appears to have some blood on his knee. He's going to have to leave the game. He's like, can I just take the free throws first? And the referee said no. He doesn't want to go off. He's going to have to.
Well, he's earned a trip to the free throw line. I don't blame him feeling a little hard done by.
Exactly. We can relate. Those 2 points matter.
Well, it will be Nate Montgomery will get the chance to get the 2 points instead. Any bleeding must be stopped. And he can't return until it is. Probably have to take the knee padding off as well, as it has blood on it.
Well, Shahid Nelson can at least get an assist for this?
No, he gets nothing for it. He gets a foul drawn is what he gets.
I don't think when...
And a bit of a plaster on the knee. Sharma, great head fake. All the way to the rim and gets the bounce.
Wow, a little bit of a finesse finish from the 7-footer. Nice finish from Sharma.
And we talk about their depth. Normally during this part of the game, you bring in the end of the bench, and the London Lions bring in Josh Sharma, who played at Stanford, which is a very high level in the States. He played all across Europe as well.
Rodney Glasgow into double figures with 11. Sharma out to Ward Hibbert, rims out. Approaching the final 2 minutes of the game. The Lions, particularly in the second half, have really bared their teeth at the defensive end, made everything very, very difficult for Sheffield. It's funny because Sheffield scored 37 points in the first half. They scored 30 in the second half, but the degree of difficulty for that 30 feels to have been a lot higher in the second half than it was in the first.
Yeah, absolutely. Just some tired legs there in the second half, and from the defensive pressure that they gave the Sharks. But then in the second half, the Lions took it up to even a higher level, so made life very difficult for the Sharks in the offensive end.
Henzi Sacco into the game for the first time for Sheffield, and making his way in the game, getting his first taste of BBL action. To the final two. Here's Quealy eyeing the shot clock. Now he looks to attack. The kick to Caboza. Caboza floats one up too long. Montgomery under pressure from Caboza. Sacco lobbing it into Delpesh, and he throws it down two-handed.
It's a nice play there, and a good pass from Sacco. Delpesh is just an automatic dunk in there, isn't he?
Oh, stolen away by Sacco as well. Running it back, throws the alley-oop from Jones by Delpesh, and there may be 1:15 to go. But London feel the need for a timeout here as their lead is down to 11.
Sacco, good energy from him, and you can see he enjoyed that.
Delpesh doing what he does best, going upstairs to the second level to go flushing, and young fella there excited to be involved in the game and making plays. Gotta love it.
Well, a lot of highlights for young Henzi Sacco in the summer, but he's bringing it to the autumn here as well, and you love to see it.
Well, we know this generation, you can bank on it. In about 2 hours after this game, you're going to see that play on his Instagram.
I think 2 hours is slightly conservative there. It might be quicker than that.
Yeah, I agree.
It's already on there now.
Well, Coach Schmidt, you can see, not happy with the way his team is finishing this game. And that's a good sign as well, just to reiterate to his team. It doesn't matter that, you know, they're not going to pull back 11 points in 1:15, but it's about the intent from the London Lions.
In the bigger picture.
Agreed. I remember one game, we were up by 20, and anyway, Coach Paternoster calls a timeout and takes the whole 5 out on us, our starting 5. We have to go back in again. And that's just setting standards. It's setting standards, and regardless of what the score is maintaining those good habits as a basketball team.
Ward Hibbert with the high arcing shot for 2.
And Ward Hibbert, his game has improved so much over the years, where now he has the jump shot that he already added to his defense, which is a strength of his.
And Sacco tried to throw another lob to Delpesh, who was judged to have pushed his defender out of the way to go after it.
I really like Henzi Sacco. Really like his energy, and I hope he continues to create himself opportunity to have more court time this season.
Well, he's on a trial at the beginning. I haven't seen an official signing, but he has got his name on the back of the shirt, which is a good sign. Here's Sharma. Rims out. Montgomery to the mid-range. Rims out. And that will do it. London will just dribble it out. Coach jumps up and says, no. Van Oostrum needs to get over the half court, but other than that, he dribbled it out. And London Lions showing what they're about here today. We've seen a lot of good performances from different players. Kufos coming in with 18 and 8. Decker tremendous with his 23 points, but it's the depth, it's the defense, it's the way they can squeeze the life out of you that is going to cause the rest of the BBL a problem this year.
Their superior talent is an obvious statement. What I'm really most impressed about of today's performance is the structure and the selflessness that they had on both ends of the floor for each other as a team. I think Coach Smith again expressed his pleased to have that depth there, and they showed how that depth can be so, I guess, punishing to the opposition team. You could just see that the energy and the life drained out of the Sharks as the game went on, and the London Lions just grew in confidence and grew in intensity and just strangled the Sharks to submission.
Well, the London Lions have got their season up and running with a 13-point victory here in Sheffield, 73 points to 86. They have beaten the Sheffield Sharks. Let's get some reaction from the boys on the sideline with Nat.
You'll remember at the half that stats were pretty even in this game, as of course was the score, just a 3-point lead for London going into half-time. Shooting was pretty even. Steve, was the only key thing really was second chance points. You look there, Kieran Achara, at the distance in rebounds, 38 for London, 25 for the Sharks. And that was a significant factor in this game, wasn't it?
Well, what it came down to there was, you know, London were scoring and Sheffield were missing, and that was because of the relentless defence by the London Lions.
11 second chance points for London to the 2 for the Sheffield Sharks. And Drew Lasker, in your interview with Coach Lyons pre-game, he said that was the key to the game, and he was right.
Yeah, absolutely, because with a team this talented, the last thing you can do is give them another opportunity, because if you do, 9 times out of 10, they're going to take advantage of it.
Bench points, 28 for the Lions, for the Sharks 18. I'm sure we're going to be talking at length about the depth with this Lions roster. There was a standout player, though, our MVP this evening, a brilliant first half, and he followed up in the second half as well. Sam Deckers with Mike.
Sam, first off, welcome to the BBL. How does it feel to get your first win in the BBL?
No, it's great. I appreciate the warm welcome. Been definitely feeling the love here, which has been really, really nice. To get a win under our belts, it's big. It's a stepping stone. We've had a weird preseason, a lot of guys with their national teams, and we've had just so many different groups coming in and out. So to be able to come out here and get a win in a real environment is big for us. We go back on the road tomorrow, go to Spain, get another friendly match in. But whenever you can leave a road trip 1-0, you got to be excited about it. And we have work to do, but we saw some signs there that we could be pretty fun.
Rewinding back to the first half, it was pretty even, neck and neck, a bit choppy. Second half, that third quarter, you guys really took off. What changed at halftime?
You know, you hear this in every interview, but like our defensive principles, we're actually abiding by them. You know, we want to shrink the floor. That's been our MO all preseason. We're a long, athletic team. We're giving them too many driving lanes first half, so they're able to get easy buckets. Second half, we really clamped down. Our guards, our ball pressure was unbelievable. And when you can do that, and you can turn them multiple times, make them take tough shots, and get a kill on that possession, we just let our athleticism and our skill take over in the open court where it's really tough. So we got on a nice little run there, really put the clamps down, and we were able to ride that for a win.
Thanks for your time, Sam. Congrats.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
So Sam Decker talking about the defensive principles. We'll get into that side of the Lions' performance in a minute, but Kieran Achara, 23 points. He was leading from the start, leading by example, wasn't he?
Yeah, his game was real smooth. You know, he kind of tailed off a little bit in that second half, but the job was done. You know, you can see that he can play, he can hoop, and he wants to play. And the thing is, from a team perspective, you can see he's already bought in.
He was one of a number of big-name signings coming into this season. What did you make of his performance, your first look at him, Drew?
I mean, he is the real deal Holyfield, and like Kieran said, he's invested. I like everything that he said in that interview. He didn't say anything about offense. It was terminology, shrinking the floor, defensive principles, and that's when you know someone is invested in their club. And I love what I've seen on social media, him talking about waving the flag not only for the London Lions but for British basketball.
Right.
And so I love everything that he's about.
And somewhat terrifyingly for the rest of the BBL, he said there's plenty of work to do, Kieran.
Yeah, and that's it. They're going to be their biggest critics for themselves. You know, they found a way, but right now it's going to be a scary, scary season.
Those comments from Sam Decker will certainly make his coach Ryan Schmidt pretty happy. He's now courtside with Mike.
Coach Schmidt here courtside. Your first win as a BBL coach, how does it feel?
It feels good. You know, it's good to get the guys together. Obviously, we've had a pretty unique preseason, and only I think 5 or 6 practices as a group. So it's good to see these guys come out here. I thought we did a really good job defensively. But again, anytime you get a win to start the season, that's a good team. You know, they're very well coached. You know, they had a good preseason as well. So we knew it was going to be a tough game going into it. But yeah, we'll take it 1-0.
And we talked with Sam Decker about how scrappy the first half was, and both teams kind of finding their footing, but you really took off in that second half. What adjustments did you make?
I think we just had to do a better job of settling down on the offensive end. I think we got a little sloppy. And again, I don't think it came with bad intention. I think guys were just trying to do a little bit too much. Where we got, where we're at our best is when the ball's moving, we got good spacing, we get from multiple actions. And you saw that a lot more in the second half.
and your two big guns, Kostas Koufos and Sam Decker, really step up tonight, scoring in double figures. A quick word on both of them.
I thought they were fantastic from a performance standpoint, but the thing that I liked more than anything was just their leadership and how vocal they were in the locker room during timeouts. These guys have been at a very high level. They know what it takes to win at a high level. So, again, their performance is really good. Obviously, we're going to lean on them quite a bit, but to me, I thought their leadership was outstanding.
Congrats on the win, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Interesting, saying leaning on Decker and Koufos quite a bit. We'll look at Koufos in a moment. We've seen Decker, of course, and no doubt both of them had big performances. But it was really impressive, the distribution of minutes and the rotation. Impressive from Coach Schmidt tonight.
Yeah, and that load management is so important. They've got a long season ahead of them. A lot of travel. They're heading to Spain tomorrow. They have to find a way to get that balance. So managing those minutes, that's a tough job from the coach. But I'm sure he had that 25 minutes. I think was the ultimate tonight. If they can stick to that this season, balance it out, mitigate injuries, they'll be right where they need to be.
Let's hope they have an easier trip to Spain than they did here to Sheffield tonight. I'll certainly be hoping for that. Kostas Koufos, a former NBA star, of course, former first-round draft pick. He had 10 years in the NBA. And when 6'7" Mike Tuck calls somebody big, Drew Lasker, you know that he's a unit.
Well, absolutely, and I said it there on comms. He came over and he said he was playing terrible, so if he has more to give, watch out. I mean, he's 6, he's 7 feet, and he makes Javion look like he's 5'10", so has great touch around the basket and willing to do the little things, and that's what it's about.
18 points, 8 boards for him tonight, and it's interesting, isn't it, that like a number of the lines, like Decker was saying, Kieran, we haven't seen the best of him yet, which again is something else that is going to be a scary thought for the rest of the BBL.
No, definitely, and I just love to see his composure, his footwork. He takes his time, works on his little touch. It's not the prettiest of shots at times, but he knows exactly what he can do. And I think when players know what they can do with that composure, that's why they played at that level.
Composure, the operative word. Something you were saying to me as we were watching the game 3 or 4 times. Look at that composure. Look at his composure. It was a recurring theme, very difficult to coach against, and particularly that Lions defensive performance in the second half. Atiba Lyons and his Sharks put up a big fight, fell short. He's courtside now with Mike.
Coach Lyons, first game back in the BBL. Give us your thoughts on the game.
I thought we did a good job in the first half. Defensively, we're solid. Offensively, we made some tough shots in the first half. Second half, I think we just got some tired legs, heavy legs there. We had some great looks in the third quarter that didn't fall from our shooters, Chandler and Jordan. They're talented. They just had some individual performances that, it's hard to stop when Koufos goes off and has a little spurt. And in the first half, Decker had his run. And, but defensively, they wore on us, I think, and just did a good job pressuring the ball.
Yeah, and I think this might be a learning experience for the team. What kind of positives could you take forward from this?
We're not quite there yet as far as some of the schemes and the assignments we want to do. I probably made some mistakes as a coach. I probably could have called some different defensive assignments and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of learning for everybody, really.
And, a huge performance from Kipper Nichols, and he's a guy that we've talked about before who really needs to step up this season. Quick word on him.
I thought he did a great job in the first half, especially defensively. I think second half, maybe there's a lot of minutes he played, but he was consistent the whole night. And, I think he's an elite defender, and he showed it tonight.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Yeah, 36 minutes for Kipper Nichols. That was a big stint, but he stepped up, 19 points and plenty more to his game than just the point.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I've always liked his game defensively. He can guard all positions, but he was aggressive today on the offensive end. There you see him taking the charge. That defense, that's where I think he gets his confidence from. But when he was moving the ball, looking to attack, like even here, off the dribble, in rhythm, knocking down that shot, that's what you want to see from him this season, being that leader. They need those scorers. He needs to be one of those key figures.
Drew, over the last couple of years, you played against him, of course. You've covered him from the broadcast side. We've watched him develop here, and he feels like a player with such a high ceiling, so much potential. Is this his year, do you think?
Well, it has to be. To whom much that is given, much is required. And so when you are talented, it's one thing to be talented, but you have to have the mindset. It's one thing for us to say that he has to be that guy, but he has to want to be that guy. And the thing is that that's a responsibility that comes with that. You have to bring it not on game day, but you got to bring it every single practice as well, uplifting your teammates and trying to get the best out of them each and every day.
So he was a bright spark certainly for Atiba Lyons and the Sharks, and so were some of the biggest plays of the day. In fact, Kieran struggled and changed his mind last minute for the player of the day. Same player involved, though, Marcus Delpech.
I love the young fella throwing it up there, and Delpech doing what he does best, finishing at the rim. That had to be the most disgusting play of the season thus far.
He's exaggerated it.
Yeah, well, he went big early on. There we go.
Been working on his game.
First show of the season, and he's going big. Well, congratulations to Marcus Delpech. It will be a consolation prize, I guess. But the Sharks are going to be tough. The Sharks are going to fight hard this season, much as they did last year, and there's a lot of positives to take from that performance. Now, not the only game in the BBL this weekend. 2 other matches to update you on in terms of the finals. The Surrey Scorchers, of course, both Drew and Kieran's dark horse pick for the season. Difficult start for them against the Cheshire Phoenix. Comprehensive win for the Phoenix in the end, 96-81. And how about this? The new era in Manchester with Vince McCauley, with Fletch, with Dirk Williams. Big names for the Giants, but a 1-point defeat for the Bristol Flyers. You stick it to your guns, fellas.
It was all Kieran's fault. He texted me and told me to pick Bristol last, so have a go at him.
And he is right. And you know what's happened now? Drew has said switch Bristol and put Newcastle in there, not making the playoff.
You've been holding on to that one.
We are back next week with more action, and we are seeing the Lions once again, and on their home turf, I should say. And how about this for a matchup? The champs, the Riders, in town. Big test for this All-Star Lions side early doors in their title defense. Cannot wait for that when we're on air from 7:30 next Friday, Sky Sports Arena. What a terrific start to the season it has been. Brilliant to see this Lions side in action. It is great to have British basketball back. We're going to be with you all through the season. We'll check in with you next Friday. Bye for now.